आप सभी को मेरी नमस्ते। उम्मीद है आप लोग एकदम एकदम स्वस्थ और तंदुरुस्त होंगे। मैं जेवीएन प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर अनिल कुमार वंगानी, एचओडी डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ रिपर्टरी, फैकल्टी ऑफ होम्योपैथिक साइंस, आज आपकी क्लास केस सिंथेसिस के ऊपर लेने जा रहा हूँ। देखिए, केस सिंथेसिस से मतलब क्या है हमारा। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, literal meaning of the word synthesis. It means combination of various elements to form a connected whole. अवेलेबल जितने भी एलिमेंट्स हमारे पास हैं, जब उनको हम मिला देते हैं तो उससे जो एक पिक्चर बन के सामने आती है, एक होलिस्टिक पिक्चर जो सामने आती है, वो एक सिंथेसिस मेथड को फॉलो करते हुए ही आती है। The process may appear artificial, but it follow natural and definite principles of practicing science, resulting in meaningful, near natural or similar to natural results. देखिए, ऐसा लग सकता है कि हमें कि ये बड़ा ही आर्टिफिशियल प्रोसेस है कि हमने कुछ सिम्टम्स को ऊपर, कुछ सिम्टम्स को नीचे रख के एक पिक्चर का फॉर्मेशन कर दिया, लेकिन ये बहुत ही नेचुरल और फिक्स्ड प्रिंसिपल्स को लेकर के हम किया करते हैं। होम्योपैथी के जो 8 फंडामेंटल प्रिंसिपल्स हैं उसको हम फॉलो करके करते हैं। इससे जो पिक्चर हमारी बन के सामने आती है वो बहुत ही नेचुरल और बहुत ही मीनिंगफुल होती है। तो ये अपीयर होता है कि ये आर्टिफिशियल है, बट स्टिल द रिजल्ट्स following the principles, definite principles, homeopathic principles are natural one. Synthesis of case is nothing but gathering and joining again various signs and symptoms, observations and interpretations of the case broken for analysis during the process of repertorization into a clear picture of diseased person again. तो जब हम केस टेकिंग करते हैं, सारे सिम्टम्स पेशेंट से, अटेंडेंट से, अपने ऑब्जर्वेशन से कलेक्ट कर लेते हैं, तो एक पोर्ट्रेट ऑफ डिजीज हमारे सामने, पोर्ट्रेट ऑफ डिजीज पर्सन तो बन ही जाता है। पर कुछ केसेस जो कि बहुत कठिन होते हैं, which are a little complex, what we do, we analyze them. Repertory is a tool for analysis. We analyze them, we classify them, we evaluate them, we form a repertorial totality, and we draw repertorial results. Then we again analyze repertorially. We analyze them, known as repertorial analysis. And again we form a picture of the disease by the way of synthesis. So for the purpose of analysis, we break the symptoms of the case and again join them. So while we break the symptoms, this is known as analysis. And then when we again join them, this is known as synthesis. So this is also a very important process to again join the symptoms in a definite order, so as to, after analysis, the portrait becomes the picture. The things which were less clear, the things which are having blurred edges, now have definite edges. Now it has converted into picture, a very clear picture of the diseased person, with obvious fragments of disease symptom and patient symptom both binding to give them a form. तो जब हम सिंथेसाइज करते हैं पेशेंट के सिम्टम्स को, तो ऑब्वियसली डिजीज सिम्टम्स को भी और पेशेंट सिम्टम दोनों को ही हम बाइंड करते हैं आपस में, एक डेफिनेट मैनर में बाइंड करते हैं, जिससे कि हम एक पिक्चर बना पाते हैं। इसके अलावा होम्योपैथ के ऑब्जर्वेशन, इंटरप्रिटेशन, नेचुरल प्रिंसिपल्स को फॉलो करते हुए ऑर्गेनन के हम ये काम करते हैं, और तभी हम इस पोर्ट्रेट को अच्छे से प्रेजेंट कर पाते हैं एक पिक्चर के रूप। ड्यूरिंग केस टेकिंग इट वाज पोर्ट्रेट, After reporterization, by the means of synthesis, we have formed the definite picture. While we are matching portrait of diseased person to the portraits or to the pictures given in Materia Medica, some error can occur because we have not clear picture up till now. It's a portrait. It has blurred margins. So after analyzing, it converts into picture, and matching picture of diseased person to the picture given in Materia Medica, it becomes more easy, becomes more definite, and we can promptly select a similar or the most similar remedy known as the similimum. Having, as I have told you, that uh, the blurred boundaries of portrait converts into clear picture after synthesizing the case. So actual tool of synthesis is repertorial analysis. This work is the combined display of knowledge of repertory, organon, materia medica, clinical subjects as well as the paraclinical subjects which are taught in our medical schools and which are actually 12 in number. So this knowledge of 12 subjects lead us to first prescription along with use of our art and experience. With ease, it is said that solving a homeopathic case is easy in theory. One has only to choose the correct symptoms, underline them correctly, and the computer will find the simillimum. But this will only be a mathematical simillimum. Or better still, one can memorize the remedies and then give the simillimum based on our knowledge of materia medica without even opening up the repertory. Some people do like that. They practice only on the basis of materia medica. Still, they lose a lot of things. They lose a lot of medicines because they cannot memorize all the medicines in their mind. Yes, to certain extent, some very experienced homeopaths having great practical skills evolved over the period of time by going through data of thousands of cases can do that to certain extent. Otherwise, it is always a cumbersome job requiring a lot of work out throughout literature, patient, lab work, and own mind as well as spirit to achieve in each and every case. देखिए a home practice makes a man perfect. A homeopath which has experience of practice of say 30 years, 35 years, he gets such practical skills evolved over the time that they have gone through the data of thousands of cases, uh, hundreds of medicines. So they can use their art, their experience in finding out the simillimum in very quicker and easier way. But not, but there is no shortcut. Some cases will lend themselves to these methods. Unfortunately, many cases have complexity in them that in order to find the simillimum, a variety of skills need to be mastered. देखिए लेकिन हर केस इतना सिंपल नहीं है. जहाँ कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी है वहाँ हमारी लिमिटेशन सामने आ जाती है माइंड की. तो भी वहाँ हमें कुछ नई स्किल्स चाहिए, which includes the ability to know all variations of human conditions as much as possible so that any symptom or distortion from health is easily recognized by us. This is the wisdom of seeing things as they are and knowing the possibilities of pathology in human nature. हमें डिजीज के हर एस्पेक्ट के बारे में पता होना चाहिए, हमें हर तरह के डिजीज के बारे में पता होना चाहिए, तभी हम कॉमन और अनकॉमन के बारे में पता कर सकेंगे और अपने प्रेस्क्रिप्शन को सही सिम्टम पे यानी कि अनकॉमन के ऊपर बेस कर सकेंगे. to know the objectives, goals, and limits of cure in each case. That is the prognosis. हमें पता होना चाहिए हमें क्या ठीक करना है, हमारे गोल्स क्या हैं, हमारे लिमिटेशंस क्या हैं. इससे हमें मेडिसिन के अपने प्रोग्नोसिस पता चलती है कि ये मेडिसिन इस ऑब्जेक्टिव को इस स्तर तक अचीव कर पाएगी और इस तरह से हमें गोल की ओर ले जा पाएगी. The ability to have a keen sense of intuition and powerful skills of observation, all working in harmony to extract relevant and factual information from the patient. So while taking the data of the case, the third eye of homeopath has to be opened. Skills in observation. A power or a sense of intuition. Skills of observation. These are all the artistic methods which are used by homeopath in diagnosing a patient among the diseased persons. The ability to experience this information without prejudice or distortion and record it objectively. जो information patient हमें दे रहा है वो बिना किसी प्रीजुडिशन के, बिना किसी डिस्टॉर्शन के हमें रिकॉर्ड करनी चाहिए ताकि हम उसका बिल्कुल ठीक से इंटरप्रिटेशन कर सकें. The ability to perceive in every case what needs to be cured at the time the patient presents his symptoms to us. तो क्या चीज है पेशेंट में जो कि क्योरेबल है? What are the chief complaints of the patient? What are the most painful complaints of the patient? You must take note of. The knowledge and insight to choose any those symptoms that are relevant to what needs to be cured at the time we see them. हमें उन सिम्टम्स की इनसाइट नॉलेज भी होनी चाहिए कि क्या वास्तव में इनको रिमूव करने से डिजीज का रिमूवल हो जाएगा. टू हैव अ रिपर्टरी प्रोग्राम दैट इज कंप्लीट, एक्यूरेट एंड कंबाइंस प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ होम्योपैथी in the analysis process to the degree it takes to make intelligent suggestions. हमारे पास एक appropriate repertory program भी जरूर होना चाहिए क्योंकि यह टूल है एनालिसिस के लिए और ये हमें इंटेलिजेंट सजेशंस दे पाता है कंपैरिजन करके कि इस कंडीशन में ये रेमेडी और इस कंडीशन में ये रेमेडी यूजफुल होगी. टू हैव द नॉलेज ऑफ मटेरिया मेडिका, reference it, experience of previous cases so that these suggestions can be confirmed or rejected according to sound judgment. तो रिपर्टरी से जो सजेशंस निकल के आ रहे हैं जरूरी नहीं है कि हम उनको as such follow करें. We have to judge them. We have to rejudge them by the knowledge of our materia medica and can confirm by past experiences. So repertory is not the final court of selection of medicine. We have to go in the court of materia medica and then we have to finalize by our own experience and art. So homeopathy in practice is both science and art. We have to take use of all the 12 subjects which we have read in our medical schools. Then we have to apply our art, our sound knowledge, our skills, our power of intuition, to have the ability to make a synthesis of the case into a living image and then compare this living image with the living image of the remedy so that one experiences knowing that the simillimum has been found. Once you have converted the portrait into the picture, you analyzed and then you have synthesized the case. Now the materia medica is clearly there in your mind. Now you can compare to which picture your disease picture is matching, to which picture of medicine the picture of patient is matching. And there comes in your mind an aha experience. Aha, I have searched it. And then you reached at the simillimum and you can prescribe it. To know case management such as when to repeat a medicine, when to wait, when to change the medicine, and when to refer it to another appropriate therapy is very important. When to refer a case. If case comes to you, it doesn't mean that you are the final authority. You will decide about that the case will live or die. No, there are your certain limitations. You should know that if your medicine is not working, you have to refer it to the proper authority. As one can see, the process of repertorization and case analysis is inextricably bound to and interdependent with various crucial elements. This course has emphasized the learning of all these skills. तो हम देखते हैं कि रिपोर्टराइजेशन का जो प्रोसेस है और केस एनालिसिस का जो प्रोसेस है वो आपस में मिक्स्ड रहता है। बहुत सारे क्रूशियल एलिमेंट्स इसमें आपस में इंटरमिक्स्ड हैं और हमें इन्हें स्किलफुली आपस में समझना होगा, इनको स्किलफुली काम में लेना होगा। All cases are unique and therefore cannot be approached exactly the same. So that's why Hahnemann has said, be an unprejudiced observer. क्योंकि हर केस की पिक्चर डिफरेंट होगी। अगर आप प्रीवियस पिक्चर को उस पर लागू करने की कोशिश करेंगे तो आप सिमिलिमम तक नहीं पहुंच पाएंगे। Keep your mind open and flexible to various ways of looking at the information. In the interview, look for ways to combine symptoms that give you suggestions about possible prescriptions. इंटरव्यू के दौरान ही आपको पता चल जाएगा कि ये 2 या 3 symptoms, these are the 3 legs stool of Allen, which is suggesting some remedy. Compare all the possibilities as best as you can. Your prescription could be based on one or a combination of the following criteria. Either your prescription will be based on whole history or the patient's attendance history or the current symptoms or the mother during pregnancy or the birth, from birth till beginning of the disease. This is known as anamnesis. Birth till beginning of the disease. This is past history, anamnesis. So our prescription can also be directed by anamnesis. It can be based on what mother has taken during pregnancy that has caused disease. We can also take parents' history. That if the parents have any disease, this is known as family history. So past history, family history, drug history, or the whole history, this can be taken into account in prescribing the final medicine. We can also base our prescription on the base of recurrence of symptoms, some permanent symptoms, mental, general, keynote, local symptoms combined together, mentals only, mental and general both, or mental and particulars both. We can base our prescription on general and keynote both, on general and particular symptom both, on particular and keynote symptom, on only particular if there is some peculiar aspect or any related concomitant which is very much marked. Hahnemann classification of symptoms can be taken into account from head to toe. One-sided case, as per the directions of Hahnemann, we can take into account. Etiology, causation, never well since. These are also very important rubrics if found in any case, and the prescriptions can be based on them. For example, never well since. Never well since is a symptom of carbo-vegetabilis. Symptoms until the beginning of disease. Present state today means chief complaint the patient is having at the moment. Present state today. The prescription can be based on it. Then the prescription can also be based on the totality of symptoms. It can also be based on keynote, peculiar, characteristic symptoms, that is PQRS, on the minimum syndrome of maximum value, as per relationship of remedies, or according to patient dynamic as he she presents, as an essence. This is Vitholka's method, based on essence. Basic delusion, situational materia medica. Our prescription is based on basic delusion. From lesional to the fundamental. This is Izaaga's method. Lesional means diseased part, and fundamental means the patient. That is particular to general. According to morphologies, it can be based on eclecticism. It means deriving data from diverse conventional and ancient knowledge, which is the gold mine. Then it can be based on nosodal indications. For example, someone is having a history of tuberculosis, tuberculinum gets indicated, so it is nosodal indication. The homeopathic practitioners would agree with the following method. Always repertorize the strong homeopathic symptoms first. The strongest symptom would be the recurrent, intense, peculiar mental symptoms expressed clearly and spontaneously. The next most valuable type of symptom would be a peculiar general or peculiar local symptom. And these are the keynote symptoms. So recurrent peculiar mental is the first one. And then the peculiar general or peculiar local, which are the keynote. We have to add the modalities. Look for rubrics that best describe the essence of essential features of the case. Always make the repertorization and first try to find a remedy that covers all the above criteria. Do this for each possible remedy and then compare each remedy in terms of finding the best possibility. The local pathological symptoms will hopefully be recovered by the remedy chosen from above criteria. Follow all the leads to see how far they go and then compare the images of the case with the images of the remedies. So marked mental symptoms, then marked peculiar symptoms, and then the modalities. All authors are convinced that these three things are very important in every case. And they will lead us to certain remedies which we will compare in the last and then reach at our final medicine. So we have to define the case clearly without prejudice and then find a remedy that fits this image like an old boot fits its long time owner. We see often कि जो शू हम बहुत लंबे समय से पहन रहे हैं उसमें हमारा पैर बहुत आसानी से फिट हो जाता है. तो हमारी जो रेमेडी है वो डिजीज और पेशेंट्स पिक्चर में इसी तरीके से फिट होनी चाहिए, इतनी एग्जैक्टली फिट होनी चाहिए. दे शुड फॉल इनटू ईच अदर विदाउट टू मच एफर्ट. जबरदस्ती एक कॉम्बिनेशन नहीं ढूंढना है हमें. दे शुड इजीली फिट ऑन ईच अदर. If this is not possible, you may be forcing to give a remedy based on local symptoms only. One can eliminate the remedies that have strong modalities that go against them. Sometimes you have to eliminate, you can eliminate the remedies even though they are covering the mentals just on the basis of that strong modality which is going against them. For example, if our patient is warm-blooded and has a strong averse to heat, then even if arsenicum album is suggested for various reasons, we can rule out, because we know that in symptom picture of arsenicum, it is typically a very chilly person. If the patient were a neutral temperature, then one could give arsenicum, especially if it is carrying the support of strongest indicators for its selection. We should understand that the remedy can also be eliminated if the modalities go in the opposite direction. For example, your patient has joint pain that is better from motion. We know Bryonia is always worse from motion, so it can be ruled out. Never rule out a remedy just because the mental or emotional symptoms do not fit. The exact profile of the remedy This is because many remedies have variety of essences and we may not be aware of them. For example, our first medicine alphabetically, Abies canadensis, may present with very quiet and careless attitude at one end and easy fretted behavior on the other. So it is a bipolar type of behavior as given in Clark's dictionary. And our last medicine in the list of materia medica, that is Zincum metallicum, has got restlessness, fidgety, twitching, irritability at one end, and depression, dullness, collapse, suicidal thoughts on the other. These are again the two poles. To learn the various essences of remedies is invaluable, but it is best to not have any fixed ideas about these essences, as one can hardly ever learn all the essences for a single remedy. In case our patient does give any keynote to support the prescription we want to give the remedy, then consider the following. It's a common polycrest we want to give them. Most likely, we will have to look for a better remedy or that remedy combined with something else that does fit with the peculiar keynote symptom of the case. For example, a case of hypertension with suicidal thoughts, depression. In many ways, it fits Aurum metallicum, but there were no strong confirming keynotes in this case. Then what we did? We prescribed it anyway as it fit the essence so well. A month later, we find that case develops a strong craving for salt and aggravation going under the sun. Now, we are more certain of the prescription and can prescribe Aurum muriaticum netronatum, which can have a very deep, long-lasting positive effect on the patient. So sometimes case resolves in steps. We have to synthesize information again and again. In case we do not have a strong homeopathic symptom as opposed to the common symptom of the illness, then do not let go of this symptom easily, as it is a raft you can hold on into the stormy sea. देखिए, डूबते को तिनके का सहारा होता है. अगर आप समुद्र में डूब रहे हैं और आपको एक लकड़ी का टुकड़ा मिल गया है, तो आप उसको यूं नहीं छोड़ सकते. आप उसको पकड़ के भी जिंदा रह सकते हैं, ना कि आप नाव का इंतजार करते हुए और उसको छोड़ दें, तो अंतिम रूप से आप डूब जाएंगे. अतः आपको उस ये राफ्ट जो है, जो कि सिर्फ आपको कॉमन सिम्टम मिल रहे हैं किसी केस में, आपको कोई भी की नोट सिम्टम नहीं मिल रहे, कोई जनरल सिम्टम नहीं मिल रहे, तो उस कॉमन सिम्टम को आपको पकड़ के और प्रिस्क्रिप्शन देना होगा. इट इज पॉसिबल कि नेक्स्ट जब पेशेंट आपके पास आएगा तो पिक्चर और क्लियर हो जाएगी. आपकी मेडिसिन का जो एंटीसोरिक पार्ट है वो हो सकता है कि पिक्चर को क्लियर कर दे. जैसे कि पिछले केस में हमने डिस्कस किया, हमने ऑरम मेटालिकम दी और विद इन अ मंथ और सो द पिक्चर वाज मोर क्लियर, क्योंकि उसमें नेट्रम म्यूर वाले सिम्टम आने शुरू हो गए साथ में. एंड वी प्रेस्क्राइब्ड ऑरम म्यूर नेट्रोनेटम in second prescription. Remember, finally, one's strong compassion for the patient, keen intellect, ability to be insightful, the moments of intuition, one's emotional response to the patient will all work together to give us the ideas, questions and answers to solve the case. So this is all in art. हमें इसके लिए डेडिकेट होना पड़ेगा, इन्वॉल्व होना पड़ेगा केस की प्रॉब्लम्स में. बहुत अंदर से इसको सोचना होगा, तभी क्वेश्चंस आपके अंदर से ही निकल के आएंगे. आर्टिस्टिकली वो आपको जो आंसर सामने आएंगे वो एक पिक्यूलियर रूब्रिक्स के रूप में होंगे, पिक्यूलियर सिम्टम्स के रूप में होंगे, और आप मेडिसिन तक पहुंच पाएंगे. So in this way, one learns to be an expert detective. Even the smallest and insignificant clue can become important. So that to see the part will explain the whole, and to hear only the tone of voice or seeing the eyes will be enough to read the patient's mind and know their past. तो ये सब चीजें एक्सपीरियंस से आएंगी, हमारे अंदर इंट्यूशन की पावर पैदा होगी. इवन just by hearing the voice or just looking into the eyes of the patient, we will be able to know what's happening what's going on in patient's mind. Always separate the local symptoms and see if a small local remedy covers the case. It may also cover the constitutional case. Study the symptoms of an acute illness carefully. You may find the acute remedy that is also a deeper constitutional remedy, because there is entity known as acute on chronic. So the a remedy may contain picture of both acute and chronic. By taking acute, you will match that remedy. Now you have also explored the chronic constitutional one. So at the end of lecture, I would like to thank you all for being patient and listening it very carefully. It's a kind of very important lecture which suggests how one can take proper use of knowledge of materia medica and repertory. That is, repertory is a tool for analysis, whereas materia medica is a tool for synthesis. So first, in cases which are quite complex, we first analyze the case, then we have to again synthesize to form the picture of disease, then we match with the uh, symptoms of the medicines of materia medica, and we find the simillimum with our art, our intuition, our knowledge of 12 subjects, the scientific knowledge, all of them come into play. So thanks a lot. Take care of yourself.